Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, let's talk about Canelo's most. It's probably going to be the plan going forward. I believe he's going to take the rematch with Dmitry Bivol. He's a guy that wants a challenge. This is a guy that's going to want to run it back. This is a guy who is coming off of his first loss in almost a decade. So with an opportunity to avenge the loss for the first time in his career, which he was unable to do with Floyd Mayweather. So I believe the rematch is going to happen. I don't understand why people are being so dismissive. I mean, in case you haven't seen the story, even Bivol believes he won 4 rounds. I believe Canelo won 5, but it's a respectable scorecard if you gave Canelo 4 rounds. I mean, this is for all the idiots that can't score a fight. This is pretty much proves that the judges were more accurate than the freaking Canelo haters who just really wanted Canelo to lose bad and also just wanted to win their bet bad by betting on Bivol. So let's put that to rest. You know, let the judges do the scoring, the idiots do the watching, and keep the trash scorecards to yourself. Let Boxing Truth score the fight as well, because if you want objectivity, if you want the real, if you don't want bias, come watch my channel. If you want dick riding, you know, watch other channels that do the dick riding and just lie to you every single video they make. So, of course, a lot of people are dismissive of the rematch. They don't feel Canelo can make any adjustments. This is where I disagree. I mean, Canelo fought a terrible fight. Just recently watched an interview with David Benavidez, and he pretty much hit the nail on the coffin on Canelo's performance. Canelo had no game plan. He practically did a Teofimo type of performance in his fight with George Kambosos. Canelo was believing in his own hype, believing in his own power, fell in love with his power, and didn't go back to the basics, didn't use what got him to this place in the first place. He didn't use all of his skill set. There was no head movement. There was no combinations. There was no jab. He didn't use his entire skill set to what got him there in the first place. He's been falling in love with his power. He practically went in there, underestimated Bivol. I get it, man. I know what Canelo did. You know, he looked at Bivol's last 2 fights, wasn't impressed. I mean, any guy with any boxing knowledge can see Bivol's last 2 fights and be like, yeah, that guy ain't gonna beat Canelo. I mean, it wasn't good performances. But Bivol rose. He performed better this fight, of course. But Canelo didn't fight to his potential. Was gassed after 4 or 5 rounds. Was only trying to land hard punches. Was only throwing 1 punch at a time. Was not utilizing his jab. Mike Tyson also gave great advice. Use your jab, it'll be a different fight. It's that simple. Use your jab. And Bivol agrees. Use your jab. And Bivol also explained why he won the fight. He had a better plan. Simple. He just had a better plan. He had a better strategy. Canelo had no strategy. Just went in there, punched hard, thought Bivol will fold. Didn't happen. Then he gassed. And, you know, it was all downhill from there. Canelo's defense was shaky as soon as he gassed. Because when you're tired, it's harder to defend yourself. And you get lazy in there. Your hands are down. You get caught with shots you really shouldn't be getting caught with. And in all, he started the fight well. Won 4 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecard, but he didn't have a plan. He didn't use all of his skill set, and he still, despite this is probably one of his worst performances ever. Definitely his worst performance. He still lost the fight only 7-5. Was still only 1 round away from not losing. So that tells me that Canelo can definitely win a rematch. It's very possible. I mean, this is a wake-up call. Maybe everything happens for a reason. Canelo got lazy. Canelo was not utilizing his head movement, making Bivol miss, making him pay. Instead, he was blocking shots with his gloves most of the time. and slipping shots at times when Bivol was throwing combinations. But for this rematch, if he does take it, which I believe he will, because it's a challenge, he believes he can beat Bivol. All he has to do is make a few adjustments, perform better, and his conditioning has to be much improved for the rematch if he's going to win. But I don't understand why people are so dismissive of the rematch, talking about other fights, that he should move on. Why? Just because he lost a close decision? That could easily be rectified in a rematch with a few adjustments? I mean, there's been rematches before in boxing history. They've turned it around. I mean, do I have to go all the way back to Joe Louis, Max Schmeling? I mean, Joe Louis got ice and then turned it around with a rematch with a few adjustments. Anthony Joshua got ice, turned it around in a rematch. You know, anything's possible, especially in rematches. It's been done before. People have turned it around. You know, Manny Pacquiao lost the first fight to Morales. Look what happened in the rematch. All you gotta do is make a few adjustments. You watch the tape, you realize what the mistakes you made, and you come up with a strategy. So we'll see. But according to the odds makers, they already have the odds out for the rematch. Bivol was a minus 200 favorite. Canelo's a plus 160. You might as well use Dwyer's strategy here. Bet Canelo and bet the over. And you'll be, if both hit, you'll be double in profit. Simple bet. That's what Dwyer is going to do. But if this rematch does take place, you know, it's not about who you believe is going to win. It's about playing the odds. In this case, you got to take Canelo at plus money because you're never going to get Canelo at plus money. Ever. So this is the opportunity here. If this Canelo-Bivol rematch does happen, which I believe it will, because Canelo is not about, he's not interested in the Golovkin third fight because that's not a challenge. He wants to fight a real challenge, you know, a real Russian fighter with potential that can fight, not some HBO hype job like Little G that Canelo's going to make easy work of. So I expect a rematch to occur. It's going to be a very interesting fight. Will Bivol perform better? Did he just get Canelo at the right time? Did he fight a lazy Canelo who just went in there and punched hard and had no adjustments? I expect a much better Canelo in the rematch, and we may most likely will see a more confident, better Bivol. So it's going to be another very interesting fight and another good fight to bet on. So expect the rematch to happen. Canelo's not going to want to go out like this. He's not going to want to look as taking the path of least resistance by running to an old Triple G that's ready to get knocked out. So expect the rematch, and I expect another very interesting fight. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out. Y'all let me know what y'all think, your thoughts. I'm out.